Okay, looks like stream has started. Sent out all the things. And next on the list is new intro. Right. Hello, time travelers and people in live chat. Apparently, there's 3 people already? Dang. I am Tidbit. I stream almost every Monday at about noon, PST. I'm currently just streaming Apollo Justice, the whole trilogy, doing all the voices by myself. When this game is over, I don't know what I'm going to play next. Seems like a good enough intro. Let's get started with the game. Okay. Oh, right. There's Mr. Roboto.
I need to prepare the voice. Yes, this sounds suitable. December 18th, 9:34 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 5.
This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But, given how many things ended yesterday... Good morning! The mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh, hey! Did you read the paper this morning, boss? Huh? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news? Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. You better watch out, okay? Even I know that's not a thing. Oh, shit. You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Don't say his name in vain. Justice. Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. It's all my fault. Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. Flashback. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body. Thank the goddess. He had been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. I really hope it's not with that rock, because that could kill someone. Whereas Apollo just made it tougher stuff. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's gonna pull through. It was still quite a shock. There's only one hospital in this entire town, Hickfield. Ugh. Shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Is Miss Woods all right, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there, but not rendered at all. Yeah, I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believed that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh? I guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Oh, who? Me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I am alright. I thought that was my job. Shove it. People who've studied analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they learn how to control their own emotions, too. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. I mean, she's smiling, but you can see her true emotion on that little bot right there, I'm guessing. There's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah? He can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him. The doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took in the head. Because don't you know, in this world, the forget-me-stick is a legitimate medical practice. Assaulted in a court of law, and losing your memory at that. Ugh, I know how that feels. But who in the world would do such a thing? Mr. Wright? No, I was asking for your opinion, not accusing you. You're hard to get a read on. Really? Ugh. Just wait till I get my hands on that coward who hurt Apollo. Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? But I admit, I'm just as upset as you are. I even fucked up my inner monologue. Okay, boss. You're right. Where's the W? How can you see the text box? I'm the protagonist. Oh, shit. Apollo's assailant can wait until we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Oh, yeah. We got her. Got that. Can't look at that detail. Can't look at that detail. Ooh. It's just an image. We got the people of suspects. We got grasping pain.
Detonates.
I don't even know what she's gonna sound like, but she's dead. But there's gonna be a flashback just to screw with me. I'm just like, yeah, they talk. Of course they talk. Someone's gonna quote her. Earth to right. I'm ready whenever you are. All right. Let's get ready to rumble. You bet! With everything that happened with Apollo, I don't have any time for a proper investigation. There's no investigation segment. It's just a courtroom. Yeah, it's the first trial of the game. Right, that's how those work. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right, for Mrs. Wood's sake. And Apollo's, too. How can I not do an investigation? It's literally in the next courtroom. It's not that far. December 18th, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Woo! The intro! Wait, didn't they do that the first time? How did I not realize it was the intro?
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready, Your Honor.
Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question?
Oh, that's what... Oh, no, we just have a missing.
No, I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor.
I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am.
That's not how you should really see stuff, Phoenix. There is a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up this trial.
A separate matter, you say? And what might that be?
I assume you are aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in courtroom number 4.
Why is he bringing that up?
Yes, what a truly harrowing experience. It must have been. Poor Mr. Justice. He can't even be a main character in his second game.
I know, I'm the main character.
What? No!
At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone.
You have to have expectations to be disappointed.
He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods.
He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he?
The prosecution wishes to indict Mrs. Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation here is the courtroom bombing. The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial.
Ah, but I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. We live in the Ace Attorney world, so that means the case is probably someone just dropped a rock on him from the open ceiling, or one just simply fell out. Because he wasn't murdered, that means there doesn't necessarily have to be a culprit.
Yes, and how does that indict Mrs. Woods?
She blew up the courtroom. Therefore, any injury sustained in courtroom number 4 until the end of time will be placed on her. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4, like expected. This is the location in courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Army's body was found.
Oh. That's a full-length body? Okay. Pretty small courtroom. Oh wait, no, that's not stairs to the outside. That's stairs, and next to it is, like, the audience?
The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice?
Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne?
I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Mrs. Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing.
My goodness, you... Why would you use that kind of statement? Why can't you say point?
Because we already deduced that I am a bit there.
What?
Ignore me, get on with your line.
You mean he found some incriminating evidence?
Candace is like, Shaq, drink her milk. I drink milk, and I'm not super tall.
Precisely. And so, I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of the rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
Oh, she even has her own objection line! She was meant to be! Why? Junie would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that.
Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts.
Ahem. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself.
Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charges of assaulting Mr. Justice.
What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday...
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Wonder what it was.
He told me, I'm going to look for some evidence to clear your name, Juniper.
Maybe the two incidences really are related after all.
I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Mrs. Woods to the witness stand.
Hello. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop.
Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo.
Miss Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not?
You sound very medieval, but yes, I did.
Good, good. I want to be awesome like a king. If you would, then, please testify about what happened to the court.
Alone with Apollo.
During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me, and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give my testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo! Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So, Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature.
He may look a little imp at sometimes, but Apollo can be really nice, too. I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out.
But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? But what kind of something? Do you know how vague that is, child?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think?
New evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection! Objection! Just as I thought. There is a connection between the two incidences.
Dumbass, it's the same location. I'd be impressed if you found something that didn't relate to the bombing the day after going the rubble.
But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence.
No! I never!
Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. We found the proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins. Oh, no. Someone's done their research. Apollo is right-handed, except for the fact he couldn't see out his right fucking eye, so how would he write that? Woods.
What on earth? How many times do I have to deal with cases like this?
Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. The witness, the message he left for us.
It's written in blood. Woods? Why, isn't that?
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters.
What? Why'd you specify capital?
Because it'll become relevant later. I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted.
Apollo's assault photo added to the court record. Yay.
No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name?
Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this?
Hey! Don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do.
We discovered Apollo yesterday. Apollo!
No.
didn't have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. And let's see, certain cop helped. It is very bold to immediately be like, yeah, the first bad guy is a fucking police officer, instead of it being like the legendary end. Apollo never learned his capital letters. He dropped out in first grade before going to law school. Yes, if you look closely at Apollo's objection screen, it isn't a capital O, it's just a 0, and everything else is lowercase. After that, they were in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves, and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there. I should turn Phoenix right British.
Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
And we are now in back normal Ace Attorney shenanigans. Press everything. Do you always cough when you get nervous, Miss Woods?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, please do not make Miss Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly.
But that barely even qualified it as a quasi-question.
Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into the cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff.
Her crushes? Really? I don't know about this.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins?
We went to look for my medicine. To stop my coughing.
Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4, the place you were only 2 days ago when a bombing occurred, and you tripped and fell? Why?
I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bum rap Briny. He was keeping my medicine safe for me.
Oh, gosh.
He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see?
And Phony Fanty has the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted.
I had put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bum Rap Ryan. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Rhiney in the area. It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest.
The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Phoenix! Oh, wait.
So that's why you went to the ruins. I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Miss Woods.
Hold it!
The area around the witness stand, are you sure about that?
I'm sorry, did I say something wrong?
No, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her.
Yes, I'm sure that's where we searched first.
That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tonate's testimony, right?
Yes, the bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom.
Oh, so there's a witness to see if Apollo was already knocked out? And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you, or did he stay behind?
Hold it!
If you upset her too much, she'll explode like a bomb. She was the other bomb. Don't let Mr. Tonate near her, otherwise he'll disassemble her bit by bit. Better not ask about Apollo. I know. I'll use some small talk to get her to relax a bit. Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods?
Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing, too. I made this outfit myself.
Keep it up, Mr. Wright. It's working. Now, ask her if she has a crush on anyone.
So, is there anyone in particular you like right now?
Objection! What the fuck is going on here? Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case?
To this case? Not really?
Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand.
Sorry, Your Honor. -1 to brownie points.
+1 to brownie points. Zucchini brownies.
Ew!
What? What? I can't have a diverse palate?
You don't even put cocoa powder in it, do you?
No, that's nasty.
Gods.
Miss Woods, please continue with your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice.
I swear, I didn't attack Apollo.
Hold it!
So, you think Mr. Justice is kind?
Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. Makes me feel strong too.
Any predictions about that?
Yeah, it feels like I can see the future because of him.
Great. The only adjectives I associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive. I am a gamer.
But then Apollo got hurt, and it's all my fault.
Junie, Apollo's going to be fine. He's just like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't drop out of the sky.
You really think he'll be fine?
But the sun does go down at night.
That means Apollo could...
Mr. Payne, I do not think much of men who make young ladies cry.
So, Apollo was trying to help Juniper. Who knew that Apollo could be such a sweetheart?
It must have been pretty hard on him, too, with all that rubble everywhere.
Now that I think about it, there's something odd about what Apollo was able to do.
You know, considering what Miss Woods said just now, I think you're right.
No, you're right.
That courtroom was in a very unusual state, after all. Which leaves the million-dollar question, what would explain this contradiction? Anyway, let's see what happens when I present what I suspect is our answer. I do like the idea of a garden girl falling in love with a guy called Apollo, and she constantly, like, says he's the sun. It's a very good little, like, bow. Alright, if Phoenix says he's just gonna shoot wildly, I'm gonna shoot wildly.
Objection!
So, he started a search with the witness stand, you say?
That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room? He was being so great. and strong.
But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he should have been capable of doing that.
But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave and kind, too.
No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. He can't move rocks. He's not a protagonist. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. But I think anyone... But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to, Mr. Right. True. Anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please take a look at this diagram. And yet I've seen her shipped with 4 other non-Apollo characters despite her official crush on him, and never Apollo. Oh, sorry, that was chat. Take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand?
Oh!
Is it just me, or is that S just, like, straight up a 5? I'm trying to flip my head around. Nope, it's not a, like, upside-down wording thing.
I see your point. The rebel blocks off access to the area around the witness stand.
Does such a tiny inconsistency even matter?
Moods. It would actually be S, though it's a backwards D, so it doesn't even work if you spell it rotated 180.
Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it.
Irk.
That makes me realize I should write something down. I have a small group of stories that I, do on the side. One of them is a superhero story, and I'm trying to make, like, a gallery of, like, all these different, like, heroines that are all miss something. Like, there's misdirection, and now I'm gonna add misremembering to it. The killer said something relatable, and Apollo went mood.
Great. Now I'm not so sure it matters.
A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know.
But that's precisely what Mr. Right does best. I call slander, Your Honor! So, is it really impossible to approach the witness stand?
Miss Entropy. Thank you. Another to the list.
I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Ah, yes, I have one more. Here is a bit more of a pulled-back version of the photo I presented before.
That's a box with wheels. Uh-huh. There's a wheel going over his bandages. Great. Apollo's assault photo updated in the courtroom record. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in the photo Mr. Tonate's bomb transport case?
That's right. Is there some problem?
Yes, that transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. He must have been there ever since.
That's it?
Miss Woods, have you remembered something?
Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before.
Because let me guess, where it used to be was right over the word woods. And so if Apollo fell down, he wouldn't be able to write over right there. So bing, bam, bam. Its position? The position of what?
The position of that big metal thing?
The bomb transport case?
Yes. When Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case is in the photo was an open space, so it was easy to search the stand.
I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it?
As I recall, I think it was more to the right.
To the right? Me? Then that means, in that case, the case during this case was over there, and it wasn't really the case that we see in this case about a case being over there. Phoenix, are you okay? Beef takes Bishop. In that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack.
I swear, if the text box was any bigger, they'd make a fucking joke of it. Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking about.
Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear.
What? Don't you mean rear?
No!
Well, you heard him. Get on your ear.
No.
Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack.
Yes, Your Honor, this diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack. It'd be cool if I could just slide the case over. But no, you gotta click where it was. Which is right here. Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault.
But that's...
Inconceivable!
I don't think you know what that word means. Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you first saw it?
Yes, that's where it was.
Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noticed an interesting fact about this position.
The transport case covers up the writing in blood.
Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there, because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left the bloody writing.
Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying!
The fact the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Mrs. Wood's testimony alone.
What? And where is your proof you're talking about?
It's right here in the crime photo. What kind of stories? Oh, that was chat again. Here is the crime photo.
I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault?
Take that!
Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here. And also to answer what kind of stories. I just write a ton of stuff. My brain never stops moving, and so I just make stories to kind of alleviate the pressure that builds up. And there is one that I'm working on called Comical Grades, of where it's about a school of superpowered people. And it's like an effort between heroes and villains, sending their pupils in there.
I see it, but what is it?
This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb.
But what's a caster?
It's kind of wheel.
Why didn't you say wheel?
Because I have an extended vocabulary. You think the Pains are the only one with a dictionary?
Yes. Where'd you get yours?
From the Pains.
God damn it.
As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice.
Was it to the right of Mr. Right?
I haven't adopted him yet.
Ah,
Then, after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved.
What?
Just as Miss Woods said, the case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood.
No! You did it, boss! It was a real nail biter, but you pulled it off! Here, let's look at how chat's celebrating. I like the idea Phoenix has met Graspin outside of court and he still never realized it was a different guy.
Been to the Payne's house, but just never see them both at once. Well, that's the thing. Winston Payne lost his license and he could not be a prosecutor anymore. He has a 100% fail rate, and so he just had to change his name. And so Phoenix was completely right in thinking they are the same person, because in fact, they are. Also, why would Phoenix ever go to the Paynes' house? I just kind of like that. I'm just like, hey, Winston, longtime rival.
Hello, Phoenix. What do you want?
I'm just here for, coffee meeting.
Ah, thanks. I really enjoy these. You know how you kick my ass in court? This is a nice getaway.
I'm not going to say it, but I love what actually happens to Winston. Winston! Winston comes back! Yay! Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards, and I just realized there's chatter, and so it may have been difficult to hear me.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Right! That was a very clever deduction.
Aw, it was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius.
Take that.
Boss, stop showing off that you might be a villain later. What? I'm not. That was really suspicious. I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you.
I have just one question, Mr. Right.
Yes, Your Honor.
If Mr. Justice didn't leave the message in blood, then who did?
Huh? What?
Oh, yeah, I still have a case.
What? Well, looks like I should have taken the train. That train of thought through to the last station.
Well, I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it?
This feeling, it brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin.
Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a 2-bit con man.
He used to be 64 bits.
No, that's kind of now. I'm 3D now.
Oh, and were you some second-rate 16-bit?
Probably.
Pathetic. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence.
Hey,
Until the judge asked the question, I didn't catch on either, Buster. But what now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. What could have written that message in blood?
The culprit! If Apollo didn't leave that bloody writing. Maybe it was Apollo's attacker who wrote it and made it look like Apollo did it? That seems like the most reasonable explanation, because it is the only explanation in this darn world. Wait a minute. I just realized something, boss. What is it? Look at the amount of blood on the photo. Doesn't look like Apollo bled very much. Oh! Did Apollo wax someone with a stone? I wonder if it's even possible to write out woods with just this much. Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm adopting you next. What? Not Apollo? You adopted his other the other child? Why me? I'm building a harem. With your last name? There's been weirder animes. This isn't... Good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. That might be a factor in why he survived the assault. And since there was so little blood, that pretty much rules out his attacker. I guess so. But if it wasn't his attacker, then who else could it have been? Who else could have written that message in... Oh. If it wasn't Apollo who could have left the bloody message, who could have left it?
Take that!
This person left the bloody writing? And what do you base this claim on?
Do I really need to base my claim on something?
Boss!
Of course you do. Don't tell me you don't have anything at all to back up your assertion.
Nothing in particular, really.
Ugh. That won't do, Mr. Wright, but a penalty will make up for your deficiency very nicely. Go.
So was it Apollo or his attacker? When you think about who was at the crime scene. Oh wait, we're asking where all the blood...
Take that!
Oh, I didn't realize that's how they were saying it. To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far, there's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there is one more person who shed blood at this crime scene.
The person who shed blood. You don't mean...
Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Army who left behind this message in blood.
What?
What? Detective Army? What? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that?
If you had said the attacker left a message to throw people off, it might have made sense.
At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message.
Uh-oh.
I see! Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case.
But why would Detective Army write the defendant's name? There is no connection between the two whatsoever.
I didn't even know the lady who was killed.
I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. They had never met each other.
very true. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be.
The intended meaning?
Not what it appears to be?
Okay, wait, is this a thing?
The D is backwards.
Any way you look at it. E is silent. Disarm. No, I'm gonna keep calling her Army. This is just funny. You disarm me, the bum? Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods.
Coming from you? That's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have been some other meaning?
Yes, Your Honor. For something I pulled out of a wormhole. Kerner, it could turn out to be true, right?
Ah! It clearly says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Army was a detective. Maybe Woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example.
I didn't think of that.
Ah, you may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me. I have a thing for stuttering. I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you might have already guessed. And there is no such radio code as Woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright.
We're in America?
Yes, we are in
America.
Is that a fact? Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes.
Enough of this! I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substitute it with anything, then I must end things here.
No, please wait, Your Honor.
Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation, written on a piece of sheet metal and, like the Mythbusters. Did you know they started putting up their full episodes on YouTube? It's very interesting to watch. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing?
Well, I believe it's...
And no stalling! If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over.
I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have been besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language, or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix. You can do this.
Which piece of evidence will tell us what the words Woods really mean?
It's a lock. I want to present it. I so want to present it. Oh, right, there's 2. Oh! There's a chunk missing. Look at that. It's right there. There's a little more. So it was written before everything.
Take that!
This! What exactly is your point, Mr. Wright? I thought this evidence was supposed to tell me what Woods really means.
But doesn't it, Your Honor?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I guess I'll let you be the judge of that.
Yeah, fuck your pun! Yes, I'll be judging around here, and I judge that you deserve a penalty.
No, that didn't go over well. I just know there's some other meaning to woods here.
Now then, let's try that again, shall we?
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar?
What does this have to do with anything?
What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand?
Now, please look at the bloody writing shown in the crime scene photo. Oh, I think I see it. Atta girl. That one's on my side.
It says Woods.
Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W. It's actually L and a 1. The next two are zeros.
Oh, my goodness.
The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Mrs. Wood's name. It's the numbers engraved on this bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. The number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made into bloody writing. Oh, I can save in the middle of a thing? That's new! Okay.
Huh?
I have no idea what it's trying to get me. Two? 2 lines? Erase the third... Wait. Erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of D. Oh, they're saying remove those bits. Oh, I thought they were saying that they had removed lines. Okay.
Well, would you look at that? You're pretty good with Photoshop.
Louis? No, Your Honor. It's not meant to be read as a word. The number is L10015. Which, if you take away the final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case.
Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I could change anything into anything else simply by erasing 2 lines. What if we erase 2 lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Rye?
Well, would you, Mr. I?
The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here. And I think I've drawn the right conclusion. They're insulting me, which means they have no evidence. Detective Army's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people.
Look, what?
The original message Detective Army left behind was the transport case number. But whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Army was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent?
Do you see this number here? That is my identification number. Because those are so popular in this case of games. Apollo has done it twice now.
Candace Army lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message can only have had one purpose.
No!
To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name.
The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than...
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Donate on the charge of the courtroom bombing.
Ted donates.
Apparently, disarming bombs isn't Mr. Tonate's only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number on her as her dying message. She used Mr. Tonate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Objection! I'm the only one who can finger people around here.
Ew.
Yeah. Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Why wouldn't they simply write the person's name?
He's got a good point there.
What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
Only Detective Army would know the answer to that. But allow me to offer a theory. A game theory.
Wouldn't this be a crime theory?
A crime theory.
Where would that fit on the wheel?
You are picky as hell.
I am an embodiment of the internet.
Perhaps Detective Army couldn't recall Mr. Tonate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit, thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody writing. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains, she wrote Mr. Tonate's ID number.
Objection!
That's more damning than a name.
No, just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Army who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Army had left a message, it should have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tonate hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so.
What?
Mr. Tonate was able to cover up the message because he's a stickler for detail, the first to find the body, wearing those weird goggles. All of those are like really good answers. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tonate himself.
I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. Doggone.
Sus, if you would. When Mr. Tonate saw that the victim had written his ID number, He used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure.
Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case.
He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. Sus, if you would. So, those letters lived to serve on another function. When Mr. Tonate used them in another incident.
The assault on Mr. Justice.
Exactly. Mr. Tonate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it by adding 2 lines to the writing that Detective Army left behind. He changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Mrs. Woods of the attack.
So that means...
The only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tonate!
Ah! Oh, no.
I really want to see Ted Tonate's breakdown. Order in the court, I say! Order! It looks like we'll have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tonate take the witness stand.
Yes, Your Honor, he's totally still in the building.
That was great, Mr. Wright.
Just doing what I do best.
Which is flying by the seat of my pants.
Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try.
I've finally drawn Mr. Tonate back into the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart.
It is a perfect replica. It has C4. Mr. Tonate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable. Ha ha ha. Rufflecopter. Swat 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 swat.
Objection!
No old memes! I would be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tonate. The message in blood matches your ID number.
Ah, yes, you have brought me all my children.
Your what?
These are bombs.
No! The same ID number that is on that bomb transport case.
Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. You truly are a game theory.
I'll have them untangled for you in no time at all.
You were the first person on the scene after Detective Army left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing, and then used it again later.
I see. But then, let me ask you, do you have any proof that Detective Army wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright?
Best way to prove that Detective Army wrote that message is to analyze the DNA. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it will be obvious as to who wrote the message. Uh-oh, he's gearing up to explode.
Very well. Bailiff! Please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team.
Yes, Your Honor. Why do we have to put in a request for that? There's blood on the scene when we found fucking Justice. Why didn't we immediately send it off to analyzation? That's what Edgeworth would have us do.
You do not speak of the dead. It will be some time before we have the results for the analysis. Until then, Let's hear more from the witness.
I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. After the explosion, I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. But there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Farmy could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
So, you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near the writing, where the writing was?
Precisely. It is as plain as day that she could not have written it.
It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance of the courtroom.
Though, we just showed that he was the one to find the body. She could have been right where Phoenix is lying.
Phoenix, don't you mean Apollo?
No, I'm gonna lay there in a second. Just give me a minute.
Please have a look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there.
Courtroom bombing photo added to the court record.
I see. All right, then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart?
Press everything in.
Hold it!
Why were you the first person on the scene?
To secure the area. It is regulation for bomb disposal and specialists to enter first.
In other words, you had the opportunity after the bloody writing then, didn't you?
Well,
Objection! Mr. Wright, please don't interrupt. Mr. Tornado is about to give testimony that will show how wrong your reasoning is.
Darn. I was just about to say something interesting too.
when I was in and saw the aftermath, hell, it was quite the disaster.
Hold it!
You were able to tell this even with those goggles on?
With these goggles, there is no way I could have missed something like that. I could see quite well with them. In fact, I can see every hair on your spiky head. Oh, you have a few grays, Mr. Wright.
What? I'm... fuck, it doesn't show Phoenix's age. Okay, in the last game he was like 33, and so it's been only 6 months from that game, and so he's 34? Or was he 37? I can't remember. Poor Mr. Wright. You're always working so hard, keeping our office together. But wait a minute, I don't have any gray hairs.
Just kidding. You see, I can lie on the witness stand. No one could stop me.
Objection!
I object to the witness's attempt to prematurely give me gray hair.
Mr. Tonate, this court frowns upon untoward comments on a person's hair or lack thereof. Look at my head.
I'm sensing a great wave of sorrow coming from the judge.
My apologies, Your Honor. May I please continue my testimony? Blah 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 blah.
If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did?
Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods.
A final message from your poor subordinate.
Poor Mr. Justice, I'm starting to get all misty-eyed.
Apollo's not dead, folks. But he's not the main character in his own damn trilogy. He is dead. So how can you be so sure it wasn't Detective Army who wrote the message?
It's very simple. She had struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance.
Wait, why is there a health bar? What? Why is there boss music?
She was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
Huh? Wait. The victim's body and writing are several yards away from each other. Wait. Let me go back. Back in time. Was there a thing I could do right there? Oh. Oh, wait a minute. I was back in testimony. I didn't realize it went back to testimony.
Hold it!
Because it showed me an image. Do you imagine she was thrown back by the force of the blast?
The bomb can inflict damage not only from the explosion itself, but also substantial secondary damage from the blast wind.
I don't know why I yawn so much in these.
Detective Army unfortunately hit her head on some rubble. It stands in her autopsy report as well as cause of death trauma to back of head.
Ah, the autopsy report. I better take a look at that. Oh, how convenient. We can't see her other hand. Oh! I can see it here. I can see her other hand, but we can't see the other hand when we go close. See how it's just out of frame? Sneaky, sneaky.
Do you see? Detective Army could not have written that message. The reason for that being, she was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
Isn't it possible she could have crawled to the area of the bloody message?
If that were true, then how did you return to the spot near the entrance?
Maybe she crawled back after writing it?
HMPH. Huh.
Wait, didn't this guy just humph me?
Would you like to get down on the floor and give us a demonstration of your theory?
Huh? No thank you. The victim's body and the writing are several yards away from each other. There's no way she could reach.
Quite the conundrum.
So that means something is off somewhere. There must be a contradiction. Ah, maybe the body was moved. That doesn't explain how blood got onto the rubble. What if that was done by the real culprit after the fact? If that's the case, then something about that might contradict the evidence we have.
I admit. But there was no bloody writing at the time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Army could have written it. She had struck her head on rubble, died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
Okay, so I have pressed everything. So that means I need a piece of evidence.
Objection!
You are a terrible liar, Mr. Tonate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Army's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head, caused by impact with a flat object.
Yes, what about it?
Now, take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed.
Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair.
That is odd, isn't it? What could have been the meaning of this contradiction?
I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstains you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance.
My bombs, my days.
Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body?
That's exactly what I am claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near the bloody writing was found.
In that case, she definitely could have written the message.
Your Honor, I have the results of the bloodstain analysis. Yeah, very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Army's blood. And, as the defense claims, the only parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense's assertion is correct after all.
Bloody writing analysis added to the... We're not done?
Yes! You did it! You were right, boss!
Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. DNA analysis definitively proves the blood written to be that of the victim, yada yada. However, the lines that were added later were found to be written in Apollo Justice. Why do they give the ages of everyone?
Mr. Tonate, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to the court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself.
Sweat, drop, dot. Fine, I will confess.
You will? But then why are you so calm?
This time, I will tell the truth. And I will have no consequences of lying beforehand. Haha. It is true that Detective Army wrote my ID number. She was very plainly wrote L1015R. I was shocked. But I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Army must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad.
I see. So it's your assertion that you merely moved the body. Is that it?
That is correct. I did not kill Detective Army.
Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute! Then in that of itself is a criminal act.
Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor.
Very well, then. Your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Please.
Hold it!
So, you admit that you actually did see the bloody writing that Detective Army left.
My bad. I should have said so from the outset.
And you're sure it was your ID number?
I am sure it was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well.
So, those funky things are provided by the police?
Although, these are special goggles customized by me personally.
Speaking of personalized, these sunglasses of mine were custom made as well. They were specially created to be particularly dark and shiny.
Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany and was custom made as well. It was specially created to make a particular loud and resonating sound.
Wish I had something to brag about. Though, isn't it the thing they're whacking that helps with the noise? But be all of that it may, I just want to reconfirm you saw the bloody writing clearly. And that it was your ID number.
That is correct. My ID number was written in blood on the floor.
Hold it!
L10015R, and it was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom.
Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that man sent me into a panic.
Sounds like you were in quite a tizzy.
If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. Is that your catchphrase? Yes.
I can't imagine coming across the message "Sykes" written in blood. If I saw "gasp in pain" written in blood, I'd certainly make a gasp in pain. Rest assured, Mr. Tonate, I understand how you must have felt, because I have seen that.
What? So you discovered your ID number written in blood at the scene, and?
That is right, and I saw with my own eyes. It very clearly said numbers.
Hold it!
Didn't you? The victim may have special knowledge of who the bomber was.
I have no idea what thoughts Detective Army may have had inside her head.
It's not like I ever dismantled her mind to check. Mr. Ike, you want to kill this guy? That was creepy.
You're saying that was creepy.
Yeah? Mr. Ike, if you have suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in a court of law. Even school children should know that. How many years have you been in a defense attorney?
Oh wait, is that even school children should know that? Is that a reference to the case of Miles Edgeworth, Phoenix, and Larry, of where it's like someone stole Phoenix's money and Miles was like,
Where is the evidence that it was Larry Butts? I am small push child.
cut me some slack, will you?
Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back, after all. In that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am.
I suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist.
Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony.
With pleasure, my ID number was left at the scene, but Detective Army must have mistaken me for...
Hold it!
By mistaken, do you mean you had nothing to do with the explosion?
That is correct. That is why I was so shocked when I saw my ID number.
The victim may have suspected Mr. Tonate for no reason other than the fact that, as the bomb specialist, he was in charge of the bomb. In other words, a false accusation. It's vocation discrimination, I'd say.
I do not support discrimination of any kind. Except Nazis. Fuck Nazis.
Yeah, fuck Nazis. Well spoken, Your Honor. If the victim had been found to be killed with a gavel, Mr. Bluesuit over there would probably have pinned the crime on you.
They would? Well, that just wouldn't do. Mr. Wright, if you dare try to pin anything on me, I will find you in contempt of court.
But I never even tried to harm a hair on, or a strand of your beard, Your Honor.
I heard that. Well said, Mr. Payne, because I am so closely associated with bombs. I was afraid I would be prosecuted if anyone saw the bloody writing. Oh, look at my face. Isn't it funny?
Hold it!
You didn't think to clean away the bloody writing?
I didn't have time. By the time I found the message, the blood was already dry. The police were waiting just outside for me to secure the room. And I still had to move the body. I was in a panic. With no time to spare, I temporarily covered the writing with my case.
Didn't you think the police would find it during their investigation?
Regulation stipulates only specialists may touch the transport cases. Because of the danger you see. I thought I would clean up the writing once they were finished. My bad.
My bad? Does he really think that will just magically smooth everything over? This guy is something else. I don't believe Detective Army's dying message was just some mistake. He won't wriggle out of this that easily. What did Mr. Tornate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There had to be a contradiction hidden in his testimony somewhere. Okay. Is this where I use the image? Or do I have to look at the fact it says in here? No, that's just the blood.
Objection!
There we go. I was a bit early with that piece of evidence. I just want to make doubly sure that L10015R is really what you saw written in blood.
Yes, it very clearly said numbers.
But that's odd, because that's not what I
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling about now? Wasn't it you who claimed the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place?
Take a good look at the photo and the bloody writing analysis, please. Now, tell me, does it really say all those numbers?
Oh,
I like that eye selection. Oh, wait, that was a... Yeah, because it's yellow text when it's robo. No! Ah! Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tonate?
oh, right. Now I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger. My bad.
Come back, my beautiful contradiction!
Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger.
You have something for me, Athena?
I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked.
Error.
He does look pretty flustered.
Teeth gnashing noise.
Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake.
I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? He actually saw it. Maybe Mr. Tonate really did see the R. There's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here? It's right there, Phoenix! Huh? Now that I take a good look at the photo, I think maybe... That's it!
What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to intimidate
Are you trying to imitate Apollo and his cords of steel? I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tornate really did see the letter R.
Oh, shit.
But the photo clearly shows there is no R.
No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tornate actually could have seen the R.
If you're going to make that claim, then you'd better be able to point out what you mean. What part of the photo shows that Mr. Tornate could have seen the R?
I haven't failed a single, like, point thing yet, and so I'm wondering if they, like, increase the size, or Cello's just really bad at poking things in Ace Attorney. Right, I can use the mouse to get more precise.
Take that!
Please look here. To the right of the 5, do you see a little bit of red?
I see it. It's just on the edge of where the floor is broken up.
That's actually the R Mr. Tornate saw.
Objection!
It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles. That doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you?
Objection!
But what Mr. Tornate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there. Oh, wait a minute. Is that rock just part of the floor? Because then the only other rock... Yeah, there's no rocks with blood on it. I think that might be it. Before the floor was damaged by the explosion.
Well, that Huh?
Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened exactly in the opposite order. Yep. That's because the way it really went down, the timing of the art was written. Turns out everything this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? Before the explosion. With the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion.
But that's ridiculous!
If that were true, it overturns your own premise.
That's right. I'm right, and it does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred.
Order! Order in the court!
What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
Objection!
He pulled it out of the box. Simple as that. True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it could be made to look like she was a victim of the blast.
What?
Sounds like we had a better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Peng, did anyone see Detective Army before the trial?
Let's see. According to the police report, the chat hasn't moved at all. Oh, here's the report. Oh, here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was Ted Toney. Wait, what?
No one besides Mr. Tonate saw the victim.
That appears to be the case, Your Honor.
I would now ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tonate's words from yesterday.
It was when Detective Army and I were transporting the bomb.
Oh my!
Mr. Tonate, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor! The defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial.
Mr. Tonate, your testimony, please.
My testimony, there is no need for therefore it needs to assist to us.
He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. You must have hit the nail on the head.
Because of the all I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you, but welcome to Pizza Game.
God bless this thing! I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of our work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there.
Objection!
You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Objection!
What the You always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright.
What now, Mr. Payne?
Yes, Mr. Tonate may have had the opportunity to kill Detective Army, but an important piece of your assertion is missing.
What important piece?
Motive. The murder weapon. What you claim was used to kill the victim.
Mr. Payne has a point. But if Mr. Tonate had the chance without a weapon, he can't accuse him of the crime.
Well, Mr. Tonate?
Oh, yes, that's right.
That is such a good model for a very creepy guy. But, murder weapon. Solid block.
I don't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. Ignore what I am caressing. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Army.
Did he really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? I mean, those teeth are pretty flat. What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report, I was hoping there was something in here that could point us in the right direction. Well, it does say that she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy, blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Army?
I believe I can. Believe being the key word here.
You can.
Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tonate have that could have been used as the murder weapon?
Take that!
Mr. Tonate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a murder weapon. But in fact, you had the perfect thing.
Yeah, what? The devil? What the devil are you talking about?
You had this.
That's the bomb! I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast.
The bomb blast? No. But I believe Candace Army was killed with this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Army's head wound. Trauma to the back of the head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume that this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same pattern.
Attorney, blow everyone up here.
What's with him?
Then show me some proof. Where's that evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb?
Oh, he's right. I don't have anything decisive.
Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad the bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over. Yeah!
Ugh. Mr. Wright! Is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? Ugh. I don't see any blood or anything, but there is a crack. Wait! The timer display is a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Army's head? That's definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. No. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Tonate managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? Let's see. She has her fist closed. She's holding something. Times like this, I gotta change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Ted Tonate murdered Detective Army before the trial started. Then he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tonate had to hide.
Take that!
Your Honor, please take a look at this. The fact that Mr. Tonate hid this makes it decisive evidence for my case.
I'm not sure what the thing was.
Yeah, neither was I.
Me either.
Penalty, I guess.
Yeah, well, that was a spectacular belly flop. Better reconsider what... Before the trial started, the bomb went off. Oh, wait, the missing remote. Is that what he hit?
Take that!
Yep. Your Honor, please... Oh, never mind.
Take that!
Your Honor, please...
Are you okay, Phoenix?
I'm just stuck in a time loop. Trying to figure out what could have been hidden.
Take that! Take that!
Your Honor, there's something we've all been overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tonate would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right! If we could figure out where that hiding place was... Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So, where could have the body been hidden? Why did I... Why did I have to go through that whole step?
Take that!
Wait, a
box big enough for a body. A box that was in the courtroom the whole time. A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate!
What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me? You couldn't tell, but that text was in orange.
No, you're the one who's gonna show it to me.
Come again?
I forgot to drink after doing all those laughs.
You heard me. Now, show me what's inside the bomb transport case.
What? Why? No! There's no need!
I've got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. And then you placed the body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like... She died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial?
No! I hadn't thought of that.
The answer is right here. Inside a box made of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact.
No! That's completely false!
If it's false, you should have no objections to showing us your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall... Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. That's why this has just been a PNG this entire time. Otherwise, we would have opened it long ago.
... Let's not. Not only if you value your life.
But what's he up to now?
Remain calm, then listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes.
What?
I repeat, this HH3000 will detonate in 5 minutes.
What's going on?
Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off.
Mr. Tonate, are you threatening me?
I am the only one who can disable this bomb. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me. Who knew that someone getting the power of a police position would go mad with it?
Mr. Tonate, didn't you say that's just a training model? Fake to practice on?
I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH3000.
But the HH3000 was used to blow up courtroom number 4, wasn't it?
How do you know it was the real bomb that blew up the courtroom number 4?
Huh?
The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. That one I made.
What? Then are you able to... Then are we able to take that as a confession on your part?
Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4.
Mr. Tonate, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that?
HH3000. It is so unique. I had never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. So, I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH3000 in there?
I must confess, no one opened up the stuffed animal to check.
So there really Is a possibility that the bomb was switched out?
No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it.
So, he's had a real bomb with him this whole time?
You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time.
I mean, the crowd is a 3D model. Do you think they'll make it disappear?
Order in the court! I'm out of here! It's gonna blow! Run!
And then a white light enveloped us all. You four are still here? Well, aren't you brave?
It's just for the judge presiding over this courtroom to run. But that horrible explosion the other day.
The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. As for Mr. Payne...
That is...
And he's off.
Mr. Wright, what do we do?
It'd be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it?
But the bomb might really go off.
Only 3 more minutes, folks.
Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? I'm goddamn Phoenix Wright. I'll come back from the ashes. I can't run now.
Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear H3000, naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on this spot. Farewell.
Hold it!
You're not going anywhere, Ted Tonate.
Oh?
Your Honor, there is no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake.
Huh?
Are you sure, Mr. Wright?
More of your famous bluffing. Even at the risk of your own life.
Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now. Not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here.
I'm not bluffing. And I have proof.
You do?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tonate's bomb is not the real H3000.
Really? Out with it then! Immediately!
Where is
the proof that shows this is the ah!
beep beep?
Take that!
The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely it broke when Mr. Tonate used the bomb to attack Detective Army. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken.
Oh, you're right!
Therefore, this is not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tonate was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb in the stuffed animal. The real HH-3000 blew up in courtroom number 4. This bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself.
Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright.
No! Stop!
Is that a blood stain?
Ritual of the night, just as I expected. Your lies have been blown to bits, Mr. Tonate. I'm confident DNA analysis on this bloodstain will confirm that's Detective Army's blood. And that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Army. How about it, Mr. Tonate? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence?
Dismantle it. You're too late! You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time. This HH3000 is about to explode!
Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tonate. I've already proven that your bomb is a fake.
It's real! This bomb is the real thing, I tell you! It's real!
Mad Bomber, party of one.
There's no time left. It's going to blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. Stop! Made it! His tiny little eyes!
Game over. Dismantling attempt failed.
It's all over. My life has been blown to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling the bombs I disarmed on the black market. And I tried to take this one. She just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me at the courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. I was looking for a place to hide her body. She left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have any time to clean it up. And now all this. I thought for sure I could disguise her death with an explosion. Then that stupid defense attorney started sticking his nose into my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom number 4 and I found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him and BAM! Not boom. And when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could pin it all on her. Why? Oh, why?
Ted Tonate, you are hereby under arrest. On suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault of Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later trial. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Not guilty!
Yay! Case 1 is done. It only took 2 swings.
Court is adjourned.
The audio loop. Yeah, this was put out on the DS or something. It didn't have a lot. And they're going to use that for every trial, you know.
December 18th.
Hey, get out of here! This is my monologue. December 18th, 12:31 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. 3DS. Yeah, it's still a DS.
You did it, boss!
Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow.
So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing!
It just sort of worked out that way, didn't it?
It's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen! And the way that mean old prosecutor hightailed it out of there, that was great! Mr. Wright, I have a message from chat. It's still a Game Boy. I think they're trying to say in the heart of any DS is still the small Game Boy. They may have grown up into a DS, whatever that means, but at heart they are still a Game Boy. What do you parse from that?
I have no idea. Why did you bring that here? Who gave that to you?
Just a member of the gallery. I was walking back. But Dina, thank you for everything you did for me.
Wait, why wasn't I included?
You were included in the text box. I'm so happy for you, Junie. Now you can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope the both of you will come and visit me there sometime.
At least it's not pieces.
Why would you say that? Oh my gosh! Phoenix, why would you say it like that?
I was trying to be funny.
Don't mess with bomb jokes. They'll just blow up in your face.
God damn it. That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation.
I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you could make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think.
What? That's no forest, that's a mountain! Oh, is that why she has coughs? She has, like, what's it called? Pressure differential? There's a word for it. When you, like, go up a tall mountain and there's less oxygen. Wait, then why would she be coughing if she was down here? She would feel lightheaded if she was down here, not coughing, because there's no air.
But, you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery we never got around to solving.
Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery you're thinking of?
Take that!
Yeah, we never use that. The remote switch, right?
Yeah. I wonder where it disappeared to.
Maybe Mr. Tonate just got rid of it somewhere? Yeah. It's a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find.
You're seriously gonna trust the police after we just convicted one of them?
Yeah. You're hopeless. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict.
I guess you're right.
I am.
Working with you for 6 months has been the most difficult time of these text boxes. Hey, I know, Junie. Shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone. Okay.
Huh? Her grandmother?
No, silly, to Apollo!
Oh, right.
He's not a right yet.
No,
Don't you know, I'm a sidekick. I'm supposed to misinterpret every text box.
So you're taking the role of sidekick?
I want to be the main character, but you're on the fucking box!
Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him?
Great idea! I bet he's bored out of his mind.
No, he's dealing with some weirdo. It's the Hickfield Hospital, don't you know?
Okay.
And so, The courtroom bombing case came to a close. What are you doing, Phoenix? I'm writing my audio log. Just. Why do you sound so unrealistic? Because. But the next trial was just over the horizon.
You gotta be kidding me.
What? I'm trying to be dramatic. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in that office. That's for sure. Really? I got rejected from main character, and you get to write audio logs? Just stop interrupting. This is gonna be so much editing. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. Well, thanks for the compliment. Why can't you just say it to our face? Because with the audio log, I can sell it to patrons, and then we get money from me, praising you. Fine. When our powers combine, we're an unstoppable team. Where was Apollo in this one? There wasn't an investigation segment. His power was used. His power is only used in the courtroom testimonies. What do you mean? At least, that's what I believed. God damn it. But all that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. We've been working together for 6 months! What do you mean? Date.
Time. Right anything agency. I am a permanent affixer to this story.
Ooh, drinking time.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
Can you at least give me a reason why? I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Jersey. You just let anyone in there.
Oh, why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
Really thought there was going to be a footstep, and just like someone is watching. What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. We had tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very particular case, which is one of the victims was killed by a mythical creature. End. Save my current progress? Yeah. The game jumps around in time a lot, so try to keep up. Okay! Are we gonna get to flashback within a flashback within a flashback situations? Like the investigation games? Okay. 2 hour stream. Finished the case. Next one is waiting. So, yeah. This was good. Now it's time to go and push that end stream button. Thank you for showing up. Anyone who is still not fully adjusted to my schedule, I'll also say it at the end. I tend to stream at noon PST on Mondays, because that is like the perfect day. Everyone goes out and does their own job, and this is my job now. So, see you next week if that is possible. Because that's the other thing. I don't guarantee that I will stream every Monday. So just check around noon, and boom, see if I'm on.